Right now, I'm just as clueless as a lot of people, because deep into this crisis, FIFA sent a letter to the Nigeria Football Association stating very clearly that the board that was reportedly removed should be reinstated, and that August 26th is sacrosanct as the date in which elections into the NFF.
Among decisions taken
during that period, that the elections into the NFA board must take place on August 8th. I'm not sure whether it is in the place of an affiliate of FIFA to challenge these kind of dates.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether it is only the lawyers that can tell us that. But if FIFA said that, look, this is when these elections should take place, I'm not sure it is Nigeria's place to challenge that. So all the posturings of some NFF members, also Musa Amadu, former Secretary General, we're not even sure about how that they are going to have a Congress to decide when the election will take place, not later than 2 weeks after this Congress. It just left a lot of people are confused. Then there were some particularly interesting issues today. 3 key figures were arrested.
Yeah, I wanted us to get to that.
Were reportedly arrested by the Directorate of State Security, namely Alhaji Aminu Maigari, former president who reportedly resigned yesterday.
The news made the rounds.
The news made the rounds. I also saw a copy of the resignation letter. Whether it is his, I don't know, because right now we are not sure of who is who and what is what.
But you could say that if he truly resigned, that was before August 14th.
That was before August.
So, and FIFA said everything before that.
Well, the letter I saw, to be honest, I did not see the date. I don't know when it was dated, but I did see a letter yesterday. Well, then also Musa Amadu, the Secretary General, was also arrested. Mike Kume, Vice President, was also arrested.
Key figures.
I remember these 2 gentlemen, especially Mike Kume and Aminu Maigari, had been having a running battle as regards the status of Aminu Maigari. Mike Kume had always consistently stated that, look, Maigari had resigned his position as far back as early this month. Okay. So there was no point in him parading himself as the NFA president. But so everything that has gone on has been particularly unpalatable. We hear also that a parallel Congress took place, that a sort of election was done, that that a new board has emerged. There's
also the story about a solidarity protest.
A solidarity protest by certain delegates. I'm just, at this point, this is where I begin to fear for Nigerian football. Okay. Because the route we are going to go in the route of infamy that has been told by the likes of Cameroon, the Cameroon FA and the Kenyan FA, whereby it was FIFA that took over the day-to-day running of their football. They took it away from the hands of the nationals on the court, and it was being run from Zurich. And if the way we are going,
we might get there.
We might get there.
Hold your thoughts for a while. Cosmos, do you think at any point we might get to a point where we won't be able to administer football in the country if we continue like this? And FIFA will have to...
It's going that way. He just said it. He has explained everything. Okay. When you look at it, it is going that way. If they get to a point where there are going to be 2 parallel bodies, like it happened in Kenya some times ago, and FIFA would have to come in and, of course, run the football.
Even at that, it's not always the same after FIFA decides
exactly, it's not always factions. The same. And do you know the funny thing? I'm not interested in all these administrative talks and everything. What is annoying me is that at the end of the day, it affects football. Cameroon, for example, they did not qualify for major championships, major competitions. We can go on and on. Cameroon did not qualify for 2 African Cup of Nations back to back. Consecutively. Now, they got to the African Cup of Nations in the finals in 2010. Before then, they were having issues. They got to the quarterfinals in 2008, quarterfinals in 2006. But after 2010, there were issues. They managed to qualify for the Nations Cup in 2010. And now they did not qualify for 2 consecutive African Cup of Nations competitions. So it affects football. So, as in, there's no way we can talk about it. I'm not interested in whether Aminu Maigari is a president or a certain anybody is a president. My own is this. How does it affect football? It has affected football in so many ways. 2 weeks ago, the former commissioner of sport for Ogun State was here. And he was saying something like football administration is different from what is going on in the pitch and all that. And I made him to understand that, it has affected football in the sense that the contract of the coach has not been renewed. So it is affecting. So I don't know.
That is why, in spite of the fact that some people say they are not interested in politics, well, you would have to be interested because it will affect what happens. But where do we go from here? That's what I'm going to ask you next, Tunde. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow. Well, at some point we're expected that Toyin will join us via phone, and it will probably give us a clearer picture of what transpired in Abuja, what happened today.
He's in Abuja, by the way.
Yeah, he's in Abuja now. So a lot of this happened. We're able to piece one or two things together. But looking ahead, how do we get ourselves out of this? At some point 2 weeks ago, we were rejoicing. We thought, okay, it was all over. After the elections, doesn't even look like an election will take place now. So where do we go from here? Really?
Firstly, we have pressing issues on the pitch which we have to deal with. I think we should drop some kind of interim contract for Coach Stephen Keshi.
Yeah. While we try to sort out. But who is going to draw up that contract is also a big issue as well, because if a man's house is burning and you're asking him whether he shaved this morning, the person is out of place.
He's out of place. Yeah, I mean, these people are fighting for their survival or fighting to protect their fiefdoms, and you're asking him whether Coach Stephen Keshi has been paid.
As a matter of fact, they don't care.
They will tell you they don't care about Keshi as long as they get what is due to them. So right now, firstly we should arrange an interim contract for Stephen Keshi, if it is just for the period of the two pressing games that we have. That is against Congo in Calabar and South Africa 4 or 5 days later. Secondly, I think FIFA will now have to wade into this, because the gentlemen at the core of this have shown that they do not have the capacity to handle this situation like adults, and they do not have the willingness to settle it like gentlemen.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking now, FIFA now has to come in, give them, wipe the slate clean. Who is afraid of who? What are they afraid of? Why are they banning certain candidates? Why are they not making forms available for certain candidates? In a true democratic process, throw the floor open, the best man will win. Okay. No government candidates, let the Congress choose who they want to run their affairs.
All right.
So FIFA should now wipe the slate clean, give them a new election timetable, let all candidates who want to vie for elective positions, let them come to the fore. Open it as cleanly and as clearly as possible, and let the best man win.
Okay.
Tunde, do you think they don't know about this already?
All right.
They know, but they cannot do it.
All right, guys.
On their own, they cannot do it.
Okay. I think what we're going to do, we're going to go on a break to catch our breath. Hopefully by then, we would be on to Toyin Bitoye, who is in Abuja, and he will be able to give us updates on what is going on right now as we speak. And also, we must tell you that the playoffs for the UEFA Champions League is currently going on, and also we'll bring some of the results to you as it goes on. But of interest to us is Porto and Lille, and it's not looking too good for Nigeria's Vincent Enyama, whose team has conceded 2 goals, and that makes it 3 on aggregate, and it will take a miracle to save Enyama's club. So we'll go on that break. When we come back, there's more to talk about on Sports Tonight.